That's why I pay you $20 a month.
$20 a month is wild.
That's what got me out there.
Tuck will do anything for $20.
Oh my God.
I can rhyme that. You want to freestyle real quick about what you'll do for $20?
Oh. Yeah.
Here goes TJ Shorts. He gets it to Malcolm. Malcolm! So many bigs. Great defense from Malcolm. Malcolm goes in. Throws it down with two hands. Malcolm left open. Money.
How we met was he was training X. You were training X, one of the teammates of mine, right? And X at the time was a big player, so he was better than me on the team, honestly, and he had more skill. And I came in one day to the gym early to get some extra work in, and you were already in there with X. And I'm like, who's this guy? So then that happened a couple more times, and then I finally worked up the courage to be like, hey man, could I get some training in? Mm-hmm. And then from there, it's basically, now we're what, 8 years later?
8
Something
years.
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 years later, and a lot of great memories.
I remember that day in the gym, and I kind of just watch people because I've never been one of those people or trainers that call and contact people like, hey, you got to train with me, It's all been word of mouth and like the grace of God, but I always want it to be organic and natural. Like, I don't want to, hey, I can make you great. I don't know if I can make you great. It's got to be a match. It's got to be a fit, because I don't think like any trainer can just make someone great on their end. It takes two. It takes a partnership. It takes like sacrifice on both people's part to make it happen. That's why the Breakfast Club is like, I go early mornings, like 5 to 8 a.m. is like the bulk of my stuff. And like you were willing to 5 a.m. I think there was a couple times 4:45 a.m. like at Warner before wrestling practice came in, before they put the mats out. We were in there getting work in, and it's just like guys like you and Ben and Nico and Jesse and X, like all these guys had this. There's like a common thread of just perseverance, because we all go through things, but like we never let it stop us, and I think it goes far beyond just basketball. It's like the growth of a man, like all of us, like our, natural fathers and relationships or the lack thereof. I think we had like a common unity and a common bond to like, okay, let's be a man, let's be a real man. And that's like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps, like going through life and not just regressing and allowing life to dictate what happens to us, but we, push through and pursue and like push against societal norms of what they're trying to do to masculinity these days, and just being okay with being a man. And so that's like been one of the biggest, takeaways for me is, like God putting me and us together, and just growing, because I've learned just as much or more from you and the guys and some of the ladies than you guys probably have from me. So yeah, it's huge.
To piggyback on that, I forgot about the wrestling mats.
Yeah, dude.
But what you were talking about, like, definitely it's crazy, because obviously, like you were talking about with fathers, like obviously my father hasn't been in my life for quite some time now, and then you really filled a big role of being a father figure. Like last year when playoffs hit or when I had tough times, I remember calling you crying on the phone. I remember calling you in playoffs almost every day.
Yeah.
For that last stretch of the season, basically from when we went to Final Four on for like 2 months, almost every day we were on a call, just talking, and sometimes not even about basketball, just about other things in life, and like you were talking about. But the evolution of where we've come from is hilarious. Like you said, 4:45. 5 o'clock. Breakfast Club used to be 5 a.m. every day at Cascade.
Slowly turning into brunch club if I'm not careful, man. Yeah. I'm getting older, so I'm like, it's tough to get up at 3:45 a.m. and get everything ready to go.
If you're a real one, though, you remember the sprints.
Dude.
Only the real ones remember the sprints.
We used to
6 a.m. sprints, and I used to come from working my graveyard shift, 12 hours at Albertina Kerr.
Yeah.
straight to that.
Dude,
with Keyshawn and you and who else?
Benny got out there.
Ben was there, right?
Benny, you got out for those sprints, right?
I don't remember him because he was behind me.
Dude, I was out there running sprints with you guys.
You were.
And that was a younger me. That was, I was trying to get it.
The conditioning.
Yeah. But just remember when we had the Singapore group out?
Yeah.
And we were at the Boys and Girls Club, and I was like, Collin, I want you to lead this next group. And gosh, I forgot how it went down.
No, I remember.
Okay, you got. But it was a. I forgot exactly what it was. Maybe I'll have you share. But it was like a pivot.
Yeah.
In your journey, I felt.
Yeah.
So
we were. You told me to lead, and I started leading, and I was doing something, and DJ goes, "Hey, Collin," and I was like,
"Yeah."
I started tensing up because I thought I did something wrong. That's been my relationship with my father. Like when that happens, like I'm doing something wrong, and like that just kind of. That past trauma came and I got all like scared, like, oh no, did I ruin our relationship?
That's right.
What did I do?
Now.
And he goes, I just want to tell you I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And like, I finished the drill and I went in the hallway and just lost it. Just started flooding. And I told you I thought it was just God talking straight to me. Yeah, I'll never forget that day.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
And I felt like impressed upon the Lord to, like there's moments in life where like I see myself and I saw myself in you where in that moment, like it was a moment where like, hey, you don't know what you're doing or you're doing this wrong, or you could say like, dude, you're stepping out and doing something great. And I think a lot of times like as young men, when we're developing and stepping into that like manhood, you just want somebody else that's been through there and been in that situation to be like, dude, you got this. Instead of like, no, you're doing it wrong. Like there's no right or wrong. Like you have to find your way. You got to allow young men to take their path, bump their knees, fall off a little bit, get back up. But I remember it now crystal clear, because then we were in the break room, we ordered sandwiches, and then you came in and like told me that.
Because I was gone for a second.
You were gone. I was like, dude, what's up? Like, what's on? You told me that, and it like, I was like, wow, I didn't understand the brevity of it then, but like after you told me, I was like, wow, that was. And it was just like a random, like, I stopped you because you started, and I was like, Collin, wait, and you turned around and looked at me like, and then I was just like, and I said it to where nobody else, like the guys were on the baseline still. Big shout out to the Singapore guys, by the way. We love you guys. I need to get back over and see you. But it was just, I felt like that was a moment for you where like you were a professional, like, and I wanted you to know it, like not just in basketball, but in life, as a husband, as a father down the road, like all these things, like you're able to do it. And while we didn't have a blueprint for what it looked like for us, like we've made it like a collage, like a tapestry of our experiences and people that come into our life, to help us. Like Tuck helps me be a better husband, better father, better man. Like we got to be surrounded by people that constantly buffer and almost annoy us to get us on the right path. Because if we hang around people that are always agreeing with us, like we're never gonna find our way. We gotta have conflict. Conflict has a negative connotation, but conflict is good.
And I think it's interesting kind of like how everything gets passed down, right? Because like, I'm sure you had that moment with your mentors that you've had, and then you passed it to me with that moment. And then I've already felt like I've had certain moments where I've spoken and like, I realized that wasn't like necessary. Like it was me, but it was coming from above, you know what I mean? Like he was speaking through me, and like when you have those moments, it's like you feel so fulfilled in that moment. You feel very connected with God in that moment, and it's something you never forget.
Yeah, no, it's true. In those moments, big shout out to Henry Barrera and Kevin Carroll. Those guys have, in different seasons of my life. I'll have to have Kevin on at some point and talk, but just there's timely moments where it's like it could go either way. Like you could just fall off into this like abyss of depression, or you can like, okay, I'm gonna break through this. And I feel like in those times, like if we hide ourselves and try to like isolate, that just allows us to self-destruct. Whereas if like we come shoulder to shoulder, like even if we don't talk, like just being around each other to get through whatever we're going through, whether it's starting a business, basketball, family, marriage, whatever it is, as men, like we just gotta push through in those moments. No matter how hard it gets, we know it's gonna get better if we don't give up. If we give up, it's over. That's the only option. If we give up, it's over. We keep pressing through, it's gonna get better.
I agree. Yeah. So, funniest thing is that this last season was probably my most challenging of my professional career or collegiate. And I remember one time, I'm gonna go back a little bit to preface this. I was in high school, and I was playing for this travel team. I'd always played for a local team, but now a team out of Eugene wanted me, and I felt big time small guy from Ashland going up to big city Eugene, going to play, and I played awful. I mean, I couldn't hit a shot. I couldn't make a right read. I couldn't make a layup. And I remember Georgia would always get in the gym with her father, and I called her crying one night after a game, I don't even think I was crying, but I think she could tell something was off. And she was like, "What's going on?" And I said, it just doesn't feel right. Something's going, it's my fault. I put it on me, which I think has been a big thing of my progression, because I've been able to see flaws in myself and my game and figure it out. And then I worked through that and kind of broke through a ceiling. And there's a similar thing with theme with this year that I had, where it started off, and even as the full year wasn't as I planned. I've always been like, quote unquote, the best player on the team and whatnot. And obviously to take that kind of step back and go through those failures and push through it is not something that's easy. And I remember being at Warner, and you're talking with the guys, and some guys are on the bench like, "Man, coaches bench me," and I would always say, "Man, look at yourself, look at that." And this was the first year that I felt like I really had to do that to myself and make sure I wasn't blaming coach. I wasn't saying, "Oh, so-and-so's not better than me, I should be playing more, I should have more touches." I had to look at myself and where I could get better. And I think that was really the toughest. This last season, winning a championship was the toughest year for me, but so fulfilling in a way. Even though I wasn't the 30-point-a-night scorer, I wasn't the guy. It was just the growth that I was able to have mentally was very important, I think, for my development. And as I always say, everything happens for a reason. I feel like in my life and everybody's life, when things happen, you got to see what's your reason for it. And I mean, I think the reason is being shown now. I'm going with my coach to Paris. Don't post this before they announce it, because they'll be pissed off at me.
Coach will whoop your ass.
Yeah, coach will whoop my ass. But and he's been another guy that I've been able, especially just straight basketball side, and the approach to the game, I've been able to key in on his focus and his intensity. Not crazy enough like he is, because I like to have a little bit more fun with my game, because that's just who I am. And that's another thing I found out this year, is that like Tuck was kind of saying, he said he felt like I was illuminated out there, and I've heard that from multiple people, God-fearing or not. That I bring an energy and this feeling, and to when that, it's easy to have that when everything's going well, right?
Easy.
But when the year was tough, I was closing into that shell, and slowly through the year I was able to open up and be able to have fun with the game again. And I think that's the hardest part for any athlete at any time. You're always going to hit a point where you hit this wall. And you got to come back to what brings you to the game, which for me personally, I think is the connection I can have with people, because I love the connections I've made, this group that we have, even different players from different teams that I have connections with, and then also just the fun of the game and just going out there and enjoying it. And I've gotten to a good point where I can get that consistently. I mean, I have another year come up. There might be more challenges, more things. There's definitely going to be more challenges.
Always.
Things are going to hit.
Always.
But I'm trying to build a strong mental base to be able to always return to the sense of fun and connection that I have with the guys, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. And I remember I was in Mexico, I think, right when you first, your first or second game at Bonn, and you were struggling with the defensive rotations. And I was you were getting put on the bench really early, and coach was sitting you for periods of time, and I was zooming in on you on the big screen in the hotel lobby, and all these people, I can't speak Spanish very well, all these people are coming around and asking me questions, what's going on, and they kept pointing to you, like, is he okay? Because I was literally like, I was zooming in. I was on my computer and I was like widening the screen because I wanted to see like your countenance, your facial expression. I'm like, oh man, here we go. Yeah. Like, because I found like there was another moment where it's like, okay, it's another level. It's a new speed to the game. It's another like mental side that you've had to take a huge leap forward. Champions League is a huge league, and now you're even taking another step up to Euro Cup, to Euro League in the next couple years. And so it's like you had a chance to figure it out, or you could have went with what we call the disease of me, where it's like you start blaming everybody else, but instead you chose to lean into your coach and like, hey, how do I get back on the floor? What do I need to do on these rotations? And I saw the change, but I saw your coach believe in you from the beginning, but he was keeping you out so you could watch and see what the rotations were, bringing you in, showing you a little bit, taking you out, bringing you in, showing you. And a lot of people take that as, oh, my coach can't stand me, he hates me, he likes so-and-so better than me. But it's just like every minute that you get, you got to be grateful for it, because that minute compounds into more, or it can regress into less depending on how you respond. And you chose to respond by like, hey, this is on me. I got to get better at this so I can stay on the floor. You went from playing the 4 to starting at the 2 in the Champions League.
I played the 5. I played the 1.
I mean, you played everything,
2,
but like that's. But your ability to guard, 1 through 5 is what makes you like. You can't replicate that, and you're willing to do it. It's like, okay, we need you out on the perimeter. Okay, we need you to switch off and play a 7-footer. Like, you're willing to guard a 6'2" point guard with freaking handles. What's his name? King?
That dude's nasty. That dude's nasty.
And then Tim Frazier, all those guys out there, you're picking them up full court. Those guys with, NBA level speed and handle and pace to their game, and you did your thing. And like, I'm just proud of you, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited to get over to Paris. My wife has no qualms about going over there. Like, we'll be there, no problem. She's already looking at tickets.
We might see Cuss and Tuck.
Oh, dude, Tuck's coming over from Cuss and Tuck's coming over from Africa, and we're gonna see that. But, yeah.
Good stuff.
So, look at Jay Jack over there, dude. Can we pan over there real quick? Look at him. Look at that 38-year-old specimen. Look, that's how you take care of your body right there. It's all the yoga. The yoga, hopscotch. What else do? You talk a lot of noise to Ben. Yeah. No. Those are my guys. That's Josh, Benny, that's Brooks, that's Dakota. All my guys, man. I hope it's just low key. What's up, you, Sarah? But yeah.
I mean, to piggyback kind of on that is even the thing. I think yesterday we were shooting the workout at Bar Homes, and I had a tough shooting workout.
Yeah.
Like, I just had moments. And it was one thing of my mental growth. It was like before I would have gotten down, but I was like, it's okay. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Like, to miss.
Yeah.
Because practice, I'm allowed to miss. That's the great part about it. Like, I need to be going hard, and if I miss shots, I miss shots.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even perfect guarding Keane, guarding 7-footers, guarding different. I mean, there's so many skilled players in Europe and just in basketball in general that you're still gonna mess up.
Yeah.
And I still messed up. I still have a lot to learn and a lot of growth in everything. I think that's like, I think that's a great mindset to have, just knowing that you can continue to grow. And B, I'm just excited because it also shows you how much better you can be.
Right. Oh, that's true. No, it's and then like you take it back 5 years ago, and you're not even having that shooting competition. Yesterday,
and I'm
you're
also
out of
losing.
it. Yeah, you're mad. You're kicking the ball out in the woods. Like, you're not even. And we can show clips of that maybe. But like, Ben's been a shooter since he was a freaking 4th grader. Like, it's like a fish in water. Like, he's always been able to shoot it. And so, like, you step into that, and like, you've expanded your game to play on the block, play in the mid post. You can play out on the perimeter. Like, it's just a growth. Like, not being satisfied with doing one thing well, but you want to be able to, like a utility knife. Like, I want to be able to handle it if I have to. I got to be able to shoot it. I got to be able to defend. Whatever team whatever the team needs, whatever the coach needs, like, yes, coach. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. They want to specialize. And so when that thing that's specialized is taken away, they're lost.
Yeah.
But it's like, you gotta be willing to do whatever it takes, and you've done that. So,
Yeah.
Man.
Also, shout out all my teammates at Bond. Like, they set the blueprint by how they play, how they talk to me.
They play hard.
Everything. Like, for instance, like you were talking about being willing to do everything. Like, TJ, for instance, like, our best player, hands down, the best player I've played with.
He's a stud.
His thing was defense, because he's short. And this dude is probably, the way he gets around screens and how he just attacked shooters, because on defense, he would just always guard the best shooter, and he would just be chasing them all game. So you got to think, this guy's chasing shooters as well as basically running our offense.
Yeah.
Like, watching him do that was incredible. And also, you know, I was keying in on how he got around screens and everything. I can't be as quick as him because that's just a different,
Oh, dude,
that's a different
he's
level.
lightning in a bottle,
That's
man.
a different
That
level,
dude-
but...
Yeah, everybody's like, who's the blonde dude out there? I'm like, that dude's trouble is what he
That
is.
is exactly
Trouble
what
in
he
the
is.
best way possible. That dude, his height has been, you don't even think about
No.
his height because how hard he plays, how quick he is, like he makes the right passes. Like, it was just, it was fun to watch all you guys last year. Like, just the team chemistry and the coaching, everything was just a perfect fit, and you guys all sacrificed to just make that Champions League run, and it was awesome to watch. We were watching, you know, at Tuck's house on the big screen, you know, trying to watch all the games, and it was inspirational. Yeah.
It was the best situation for me this year. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. Being able to watch Tyson, because Tyson was the one who was guarding the ball, guarding the ball, and that's how I learned how to play defense on the ball, was watching him. Because coach would pull me out for messing up, and I'd be like, okay, obviously Tyson's doing something I'm not. So let me
watch
in and see what I can learn from him.
Success leaves clues, right?
Exactly.
And you can get pissed off and be like, why is Tyson playing? Or you can watch Tyson and see why he's
Exactly.
playing. But
And I saw
that's
why.
life. Like, why is this guy successful? Not hate on him because he's successful, but how is he successful? What does he do? How early does he get up? How does he treat people? Like, all these little details. But we got to get these guys. Oh, go ahead.
One last thing, just talking, because he asked about transition from small schools. Any kids or anything out there thinking about that they want to go D1, and that's like the biggest thing, because like I get that, and there's no problem also if your goal is to get to your favorite D1 school and hoop. There's no problem with that if you don't worry about getting to that next level. But if you're gonna be a guy who wants to get to the next level, and you're getting recruited by a couple maybe big schools and a couple smaller schools, and you know the big schools is like, they already kind of have their guys. A lot of those little schools, those coaches that really want you, like my coach, he really wanted me. Jared Valentine and Bart Valentine. Bart Valentine, I just talked to him the other day, and he was talking about the story. He said he came back up from watching me play and said, you have to get this guy.
Yeah.
So he wanted me there. You have to have somebody who wants you there and sees you as a part, because even though I wasn't playing well, I was still getting time.
Yeah.
So therefore, I was still getting experience.
Yeah.
And I was able to translate that, and then it was able to roll over into more playing time and just my game growing. And being at Warner, I wouldn't have got the position at the point in my freshman year. I was a starter halfway through the year. That would not have happened probably if I was at a big program. So, I mean, my journey is obviously, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's special for me.
Yeah.
And everybody's looks different.
Yeah.
But just because you come from a smaller school,
It's about the
it
work.
doesn't change
it's
anything.
about development.
Exactly.
Everybody wants the jersey. Go where you wanted. Go where you can develop and get on the floor. You're gonna look all nice and shiny. If basketball's not your goal and you just want the connection, the email address, whatever it is, like, by all means go. But if basketball's your goal and kind of what you want to do, you have to go where you're wanted, number one. Go number two, where you're gonna play, and number three, where you're gonna be developed ongoing. And that's gonna help, because now you're playing against guys that played at blue blood schools, you know, D1, you know.
Kemba
and,
Walker's in our league. He just signed.
Yeah, I saw
to
that.
Monaco.
Yeah, I saw
So,
that. I mean, it's a journey, and a lot of people aren't willing to walk that journey. But we got to go. These guys are getting mad, Tuck, right here.
They're not mad. They're
getting-
stoked.
They're
Getting a little extra sleep.
We got to get Ben mic'd up.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Good.
All right. Thank you, Tuck. You want my mic or?
I'll just give it to him.
You give it to Ben.
You want me to turn
Turn it off.
Josh, what are we doing, bro? Josh, we just stretching all day or what?
I was not trying to mess up the internet.
Hey, come on, let's get down here. Let's go ball handling. Let's go sideline. We're going over on this side to start.
You like what I put on today?
Gosh, dude. You know, he's trying to post it and send it on our thread.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, well, I gotta find something. I actually thought this was the Shaw 8 shirt, to be honest.
Hey, Renner, send it in Renner and John's.
That's a big
What's up, G? Huh? I wear makeup every day. Anyway, this is 2023, Vince. Huh, G? All right, let's go in and out pounds. Right hand down and back. In and out pounds. Let's go.
Like extra shiny today.
I got burnt yesterday. Yeah.
Am I good?
And yep, right hand back. Come on. Ike, what's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Cool. How do you feel?
Let's go left hand down and back. All right, left hand.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, I want to turn you into a point guard for your last season. What? A point guard. I want a pass first point guard. Can we do it? I turned Brooks into a point forward.
You can turn Ben into a
Hey, Ben's a stretch one.
Huh?
You're a stretch one. Let's go right hand, in and out, pound between, cross in front.
Built like an undersized 4.
Ben's
Playing the 2.
It's Ben's torso that makes him a stretch. So